Hey there, Pamela DeVrou Smith. How you doing today? Okay, look, here's the deal. I know that I've gone through 5 steps at this point about living an abundant life. And today something happened with a friend of mine that I watched in a matter of less than 12 hours, this person being very, very excited about an opportunity to really questioning this awesome opportunity to see if it was really right for them. And one of the biggest concerns, not really concerns of mine, but when I watch somebody go through this, right, it's always easier to watch somebody else go through it than to see it in your own life. Thus the need for mastermind groups and people in very, very particular that you put in your life that you can brainstorm with. However, that's a whole nother video because I do talk about make a decision, do the decision. But so much of our time is spent sabotaging our own efforts. Ugh. You know, I have 6 kids and I have watched even myself in my own life sabotage again and again and again. I hit success, I tear it down. I hit success, I tear it down. Why am I doing this? Okay, so I've talked about this before. There is a programming from before birth when your mother's chemicals are flowing through you and you could hear what was going on with your mom, with her surroundings and how it was affecting her. You got programmed from that point till about age 5 or 7. And then after that, the programming happened with very, very emotional circumstances that took place. Something severe, right? That doesn't mean you didn't learn knowledge-wise, but your personality became pretty set within those first 5 to 7 years. And so you have a programming. Jake Ducey likes to call that the first mind. It is a programming that you had no choice in what was going in. Your brain, your subconscious mind was wide open with theta brain waves, and it was just being dumped in. You were told how to act, think, behave, look, be. Your personality was determined in those first 5 to 7 years. Now, does that mean we're stuck for life with what we've been programmed? Absolutely, unequivocally, no. We are not just stuck, but we have to have major intention, desire, and it needs to be what I call the glue to all of those things. Huge emotions attached to those things. In order for us to have a new habit formed, to have a new programming take place within our own minds. So how do we do that, right? How do we go through it? Well, I talk about some of these things. I talk about affirmations. But when I'm doing affirmations, I don't just blindly go, I want to be wealthy. I want to be wealthy. I am wealthy. No, you have to actually have a deep-seated emotional attachment desire in order to achieve that outcome. And the reason we need those things is because of this thing called self-sabotage. We will revert back to the original programming every single time. It is your subconscious mind actually protecting the status quo. That doesn't necessarily mean it's protecting something good for you. It's protecting your programmed status quo. This is what you're comfortable with. In your life, the results that you have, the results that I have, are there because whether we like it or not, it is what we're comfortable with. It's what we're used to, and that all came from original programming. It's pretty known fact that those who were raised in poverty are going to be in poverty. Unless there's a huge emotional circumstance that takes place. Or there's programming from an outside source where there's an emotional attachment. It's always about the emotions. So the emotions are the glue that makes these things stick. So in the case of my friend this morning, I watched as the statements were made of how much they didn't like the opportunity. Last night, they were very excited about the opportunity. Very excited. So what was happening? My friend actually knew what was happening. They actually looked at me. I never had to say it. They said, I know, self-sabotage is in play. It's true. And where does that come from? It doesn't have to be an evil thing. It's simply, if you can just take the emotion out of the statement of self-sabotage or that you're hurting yourself, take the emotion out of that and just look at it in a factual way. This is just a programming. I was programmed no different than a computer or no different than I teach my dog how to sit. It's just a programming. Pavlov's law. It's just a programming. And if you learn to recognize it, you can reprogram it a different way. So how do we do that? First and foremost, you've got to learn to recognize that it is happening. There's so much power in getting intentional about knowing what thoughts are racing through your head. Are they serving you or are they sabotaging you? If you want, let's say you want the love of your life, and yet you sit around in the evenings, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. I'm never going to be loved. I'm not lovely. I'm so not beautiful. I'm not this. I'm not that. And then you sit around watching TV. How in the world are you supposed to meet the love of your life? Your friends invite you to go out. Your friends introduce you to people. You want nothing to do with it because it's just never going to work anyway. It's self-sabotage, and that's a programming. I had a programming when I was young. I was the only daughter. I was the only girl of all these male cousins. I have some younger female cousins now, but I was the only girl. I was adopted. I used to say I was handpicked. My parents went into the adoption agency and handpicked me. I don't know if that was true or not, but that's what I told myself. And I'm sure that my parents, especially my father, taught me that statement. He programmed into me that I'm beautiful. And I go through my life thinking I am stunningly beautiful. I have, even since I was young. I could be overweight, I could be underweight, I could have short hair, I could have long hair. Apparently I can have blonde or red hair or white, and I still feel like I'm beautiful. I have an emotional programming from my father who I loved and adored. He programmed into me that I'm beautiful, I'm stunning, I'm so attractive, and I'm brilliant. That's what my dad programmed into me. So therefore, I'm going to keep that because so far that's still serving me. And yet I also have a programming that because I'm a woman, that I'm should be staying home, that I shouldn't be the moneymaker, that I should be submissive and quiet. By the way, I'm so not submissive and quiet. Anyway, I fight this. I have this yin-yang that goes on all the time. And I've had to get to a very emotional place where it does not matter that I'm a woman. I'm perfectly capable of teaching, instructing, giving, and doing a lot of good outside of my home. And that I deserve the money that I make for it. I'm still working on those programs because they're pretty deep-seated within me. And so the more I get emotional with those programs, the faster they get, my old programming gets replaced. So there's this thing called Hebb's Law. Hebb's Law states that the cells that fire together wire together. So what goes on in your brain is just simply energy traveling down synapses and jumping across to other synapses. It goes from here, jumps over, and goes over. It's just energy that's going. It's firing and going up. And those become thoughts. Programs. So the more cells that fire together, and they wire together. And so Heb's law, which means it's a reprogramming. And the glue that sparks that energy to go is emotion. Now, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about the top emotions. And the top 3 emotions are sex. Now, not the physical part of sex. Come on. It is, I know we live in a society, it's about sex, 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 sex. It's not about the physical part, it's about the emotional attachment with sex. It is the strongest drive that you could possibly have. And so sex is the number 1 emotion. So another thing to look up would be sexual transmutation. And I will be talking about that at some point. It is important to understand what's taking the energy of sex and taking it from the physical part and putting it into something that you desire. Like, I want to have a YouTube channel that meets millions of people and that I can help and teach and train. I want to have programs that people can really benefit from. And so I want to take that sexual energy, that deep-seated emotion, and I want to transfer it into another area, right? So that I can be consistent, so that I can do the mundane, so that I can keep my energy up, and so that I can make it happen. So sex is the first one. And if you want more information on that, look up sexual transmutation. Okay. Number 2 is love. The top people that were motivated, like Abraham Lincoln, he was motivated by the love of his life. There was Anne Rutledge who ended up dying. He was motivated for his success and to make the decisions and to do what he did, despite the circumstances, despite his feelings, regardless of everybody telling him no. He went forward because it was going to please the love of his life. She deeply desired for him to be successful. And so he did anything and everything for this woman, for love. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be a spouse or significant other. It could be parents. It could be best friends. It could be the children in your life. You know, there's a lot of things that I've done for my kids that I did not want to do and I did not want to be, because of my deep desire for my deep love for my children. And I have a lot of them. And so I would get things accomplished and get things done because I love them dearly. So love is the number 2 emotion. You'd think that'd be number 1, but it is not. So sex is first. Sexual drive and the energy and the emotion of sex. The emotion of love doesn't have to be the opposite sex or significant other. It can be other love within your life. But the emotion of love, you have to feel that, okay? And then the third one is faith. Now, I'm not talking about wishing for something, believing something. I'm talking about you know that you know that you know. Anyone can tell you something different and they can just go get bent because you know. You have deep, cemented, grounded faith. Faith above all else. So sex, love, and faith are the 3 top emotions. If you can get yourself into a place emotionally of those, one of those or all 3 of those, and then put your desire or your new habits and programming your affirmations within those emotions, it's going to be the glue that makes it stick. So that you can do it again and again and again and again until you're successful with it. So there you go. I hope that helps. Look, I keep forgetting to say this at the beginning, but if you have not subscribed to this channel, come on, man, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and if you've gotten any value from this video at all whatsoever, then I want you to hit the thumbs up. It sends out this video a little bit further in the YouTube universe. I would really appreciate it. And then share with 5 friends or on Facebook or Instagram. Come on, man. hit the share button for me so that we can grow this channel. And I will keep talking about all these cool things. All right, Pamela DeVrou Smith. Love ya. Bye.